Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's just jump right into it. Have you ever wished your everyday spending habits could somehow magically make you richer instead of poor? Well, today we're breaking down a really fascinating financial strategy from our sources called the one-for-one rule. It's essentially a method to take all that passive spending, the money that just kind of slips through your fingers, and transform it into active, intentional wealth creation. If you're trying to build your savings, but you constantly struggle with the urge to spend, and let's be real, buying stuff is fun, so passive spending usually wins, you are absolutely going to love what we're looking at today.
To really wrap our heads around how this works, let's start with a scenario I think we are all incredibly familiar with. So picture this. You're casually scrolling on your phone during your lunch break, and boom, the algorithm hits you with the exact jacket you didn't even know you needed, right? The price tag is exactly $2,000, it looks amazing, it perfectly fits your vibe, and your thumb is just hovering right there over the checkout button. We have literally all been there. It's a completely normal, everyday impulse buy. But before you actually tap buy or pull out your credit card, let's look at how this one-for-one rule completely intercepts the transaction and changes the game.
The definition of the one-for-one rule is super simple, but honestly, it is powerfully effective. The rule is just this. If you want to buy an item, you must first transfer the exact same amount into your investments. That's it. It's a concrete, absolutely non-negotiable financial law that you set for yourself. The source material actually highlights this as a fantastic way to instantly double your savings goals. It's kind of like a buy one, get one deal, but instead of more clutter, that free item goes straight to your future self. Every single time your money goes out toward consumption, an exact mirror image of that cash has to go toward your future.
Okay, let's ground this in some real math and bring it back to that jacket. The price tag is $2,000. Under the one-for-one rule, before you can even think about walking up to the register or hitting that buy button online, a mandatory matching investment has to happen. You actually have to take another $2,000 and transfer it directly into your savings or investment account. So practically speaking, buying that $2,000 jacket now means $4,000 of available cash has to leave your bank account. I know, it sounds a little harsh at first, but this built-in mental roadblock is exactly where the magic happens.
The real genius here is that it serves a brilliant dual purpose. On the one hand, it acts as a massive anchor, slowing down your spending velocity. By essentially doubling the cost of the item in your head and in your bank account, you just can't buy things on a whim anymore. It's too expensive. But on the flip side, it plants a seed for your future. It guarantees that your wealth is actively growing at the exact same time you decide to treat yourself. It takes your whole financial mindset and violently shifts it from just consuming today to consuming while simultaneously building for tomorrow.
The source material captures the core psychology behind this perfectly. Listen to this quote. It makes you pause and decide if the purchase is truly worth the cost of losing that investment opportunity. Let that sink in for a second. That pause, that is the exact mental friction this rule is intentionally creating. Is the jacket actually worth tying up your cash and missing out on future compound growth? Suddenly, you aren't just comparing the jacket to keeping $2,000 in checking. You're comparing it to the future potential of your investments. That little moment of hesitation is where your financial future is quite literally reshaped.
Now, let's step it up a notch. What happens when the stakes get higher? Imagine you're eyeing a much larger financial commitment. Say, you want a brand new phone, and the price tag is 10,000 rupees. We aren't talking about a minor impulse buy anymore. This is a significant chunk of change, and the psychological gymnastics we do to justify it are way stronger. So, how does the rule hold up when the numbers get bigger and you really, really want the item?
This example brilliantly illustrates the actual mechanics of the decision process. Step 1, you desire that $10,000 phone. Step 2, you must immediately put $10,000 into your SIP, or systematic investment plan. Think of a SIP like an automatic monthly streaming subscription, but instead of paying for movies, you're subscribing to your own future wealth. This required investment becomes a totally non-negotiable toll that you pay to your future self. If you look at your budget and realize you can't afford the $10,000 SIP toll, well, under the rule, you can't afford the phone. It makes your actual affordability incredibly black and white.
Let's visualize the satisfying long-term impact of doing this. We're looking at two very different long-term trajectories here. On one side, if you just keep buying the phones and the jackets without using the rule, your checking account stays completely flat. It's just endlessly draining and refilling to cover your daily lifestyle. But because you forced yourself to match those purchases, look at your investment portfolio. It isn't just growing by the flat amounts you deposit, it's compounding. Behind the scenes, your money is literally making its own money, shooting steadily upward and doing the heavy lifting for you.
The difference between these two paths, your normal, everyday spending versus one-for-one spending, is just profound. Under normal spending, your money vanishes into physical stuff, leaving your wealth completely stagnant.
But with the one-for-one rule, you still get to enjoy life's treats. You're just voluntarily taxing your consumption to automatically fund your wealth. So how do we actually start doing this? The sources give us 3 clear steps to kick off this habit today. Step 1, set a threshold. Maybe the rule only applies to wants over 1,000 rupees, just so you aren't stressing over a daily cup of coffee. Step 2, set up a dedicated friction-free investment account, like that SIP, where you can instantly transfer money from your phone. Step 3, make the transfer absolutely non-negotiable. Before the purchase, no IOUs to yourself. And finally, to really make this habit stick, you need to track your progress each month. At the end of the month, log into that investment account. Seeing that consumption tax actively growing into a real, tangible nest egg is going to trigger the exact same dopamine hit you used to get just from shopping.
Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway of this whole explainer. What purchase are you willing to match today? The very next time you load up a digital shopping cart or you're standing at a cash register, I want you to look closely at that total number. Ask yourself, am I truly ready and able to match that exact number in my investment account before I hit buy? If the answer is no, you got to step away from the cart. Answering that honestly every single time might just be the ultimate key to doubling your savings. Thank you so much for exploring this with me today. Seriously, try the one-for-one rule on your very next purchase. Your future self will absolutely thank you.